And it's the dumbest bill in America, and it is rejecting the tax-exempt status of conservatives. Oh, how Obama of you. That's right, rejecting tax-exempt status, but just of conservative groups, naturally. California Democrats, ladies and gentlemen, aim to target the tax-exempt status of patriot groups. Yeah, just conservative groups, in other words. California Democrats appear to be using the January 6 hearings in Washington, D.C. as a catalyst to push legislation aimed at targeting the tax-exempt status of patriot groups in the state. The legislation suggests these groups might pose a threat of insurrection. Senate Bill 834 in California would authorize the state attorney general, Rob Bonta, the same guy that had the California exit tax, to review nonprofit groups and refer cases to the California Franchise Tax Board to possibly remove their tax-exempt status, supposedly to protect against insurrection. So in other words, Senate Bill 834 would protect against a thought crime, right? You hadn't committed any crime. You hadn't suggested to anyone that you were going to commit a crime. You never even thought about committing a crime. You're just running your tax-exempt status patriot group, in other words, pro-America group or America First group. And Rob Bonta, the Attorney General of California, is saying, well, it's a thought crime to have a patriot group, so therefore we're going to remove your tax-exempt status because you might do something. It's nuts, ladies and gentlemen. This is so Obama-esque, right? Remember how Obama, and we talked to Mark Meckler about this when he was on our podcast. Remember how Obama used Lois Lerner and the IRS to shake down the tax-exempt status by not granting tax-exempt status to patriot groups and to the Tea Party groups across America? Well, in this case, California is basically saying, if you already have tax-exempt status, we're going to just, shake you down, but only if you are a patriot group, only if you are Republican, only if. And so, quote, removing tax-exempt status by AG determination without a method to redress basically makes the AG of California the judge, the jury, the executioner for nonprofits and their tax-exempt status in the state, all under the guise of January 6, according to the source. Catherine Engelbrecht, founder of True the Vote, questioned why, if the bill is non-political, as Democrats claim, don't its supporters mention violent left-wing nonprofit groups? Of course they don't. Quote, so are they referring to Black Lives Matter and Antifa, the organizations that have wreaked havoc on so much of our country, including destroying so many cities in America? We are at a sobering moment in America, quote, where the political echo chamber in places like California and others, where there is very little divergence of thought, tolerated quickly morphs from a republic to tyranny, she told the Epoch Times. It should be a sobering warning to any Californian with pro-liberty mindsets. It sounds like they're being marked for takedown. It's exactly what's happening here. And then the Epoch Times even references the IRS scandal, of course. So the bill seems to propose legalizing tactics eerily similar to those used by the Internal Revenue Service during President Barack Obama's administration to target patriot groups, including the Tea Party. And this is right from the Epoch Times. News of the IRS scandal broke in May 2013, but the nefarious activities of the agency had begun more than 3 years before then. In August 2010, the IRS made a list of groups to target, especially those with Tea Party or Patriots, or 912 in their names, according to a Treasury Inspector General report released on May 14th of 2013. California, ladies and gentlemen, is doing the exact same thing. The exact same thing. Except in California, they're saying, well, if you already have that tax-exempt status, we're going to make sure that we deny the tax-exempt status based on what you might do, not based on your behavior, not based on whether you're lawfully using your tax-exempt status, which, of course, the vast majority of these groups are lawful and are just patriots and good, solid Americans. But that's not allowed in California. Of course it's not, because you can no longer have diversity of thought in places like California, which is why, ladies and gentlemen, which is why people like Elon Musk have left, which is why so many of the tech titans like Peter Thiel and so many others have left California and moved to other places, moved to other states, domiciled somewhere else, primarily Texas and Florida. Rejecting the tax-exempt status of one group versus another is wrong. It's obviously what Democrats do when they're in office, which is to completely and utterly weaponize government. And it's why it is the dumbest bill in America. And that's it for Mark and the Millennials. And that's it for the dumbest bill in America, rejecting the tax-exempt status of conservatives. Thank you for joining Mark and the Millennials. This is Mark Fisher. Thank you to our producer, Christopher Hopkins. Check us out on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, Getter, Twitter, Truth Social, Rumble, and our website. See you next time.